My name's Dave Banks and I'm Counselling Coordinator for West London. Release counselling is a service to be able to support people, to be able to get psychological support, to be able to speak through various different things that are troubling you at the time, just to have someone that is there to listen to what you have and to be able to process that with you and walk alongside you at the same time. I think having someone that is invested in you, that's able to put you as a priority and to then have that journey alongside you, to focus on what you're trying to get out of this as well. It's very easy in conversations for it to be what I want to share and then what someone else wants to share. But this is entirely focused on you and what you need to get out of this service, and that's really precious. So residents need to wait for 2 weeks, as is standard for all of our clients that we work with. So you would sign up and then you would be able to get an initial consultation with us within a fortnight. How you access the service is really easy. We have a website and there is an automatic form in there, so you can just fill in with all your details. We really need to know GP details just in case we needed to reach out to them in an emergency. But it's mostly just confirming where you're living, who you are, and whether you've had any history with counselling before, just so that we've got those initial details to get in touch with you. There's alternatives as well, so you don't have to fill in the form yourself, that you can self-refer, but you can also do this with your housing officer as well, so you can sit down with them, fill it in with them, or if you want to phone through to our number as well, which is on the website, we'd be happy to do that either in person or over the phone with you as well. So there's lots of different ways to tap into it. So we have a variety of different sites in London where you can access Release. We've got things over in West London, we've got things over in Walthamstow, we've got a main office based down in Surbiton, Wimbledon area, and that's slowly expanding as well. So there's lots of different sites that you can tap into it. And we have what we refer to as a hybrid approach. So you'd be able to get either face-to-face sessions, or you'd be able to get them over the telephone, or remotely over the internet as well. So we take that into consideration when we're speaking to you. We take your preferences and all of the different things that you're hoping to get. If there's specific times that you're hoping for counselling, or if you have a preference of male, female, or don't mind, we put that all into the melting pot together, and then we work out who would be the best sort of fit to work alongside you, and then we go from there. So for a resident, the cost is absolutely free. You have 12 sessions that you're able to tap into, and depending on your needs, there might be a possibility to extend that a little bit as well. So the key bit is that you're just honest with us with as much information as you feel comfortable to share, and then we're able to then work out what would be the best custom built support for you. You can access the service at any time that you're living in the YMCA. We have a support where we're able to help people up to 2 weeks after they leave the service. So as long as you are living in a YMCA building, then we're able to offer you those services for free. Confidentiality in our service is really, really important. The key thing to remember is that we are here invested into you. We do work very closely with different departments within the YMCA, and of course one of the key ones is the housing department. But what you share with us stays within the department. We don't share information that you're sharing with us with your housing officer. The only time that we would need to consider that is if we felt that you were in some kind of danger. If you had some kind of deep suicidal ideation, or you were self-harming yourself, then that would be a conversation for us to have with you to potentially bring your housing officer up to speed. But we want to make sure that the anonymity is there, so that you're able to trust us and tell us what's on your heart, so we can process that with you. What does a normal counselling session look like? Well, right at the beginning, if you're meeting your counsellor in person, they'll meet you out at reception, take you through to the counselling room. If it's remotely, then they'll call through to you at the time that has been arranged. Or if it's online, then you'll have an email with a link that you can use to tap into the session. At the beginning, your counsellor will check in with you, see how you're doing. They'll take you through one of our questionnaires right at the beginning to ask you just a couple of different questions of how you're doing, and then leave space open for what you want to talk about. That may well be something that you've discussed before that you're then picking up again. And if you're not quite sure where to go, they'll be able to guide you through that as well, make some suggestions. The priority is it's your time, and so however you want to use that, they'll be able to support you in that. How do counsellors approach sessions? Well, all of our counsellors go through rigorous training as counsellors, and they use lots of different what are referred to as modalities or types of counselling. Depending on what you need, they'll be able to then custom make that. It's difficult to then explain precisely how each counsellor will work because they're always different, but that's a question that I would recommend that you ask to your counsellor. Tell me a little bit more about how you work together, how will this be looking, any questions or queries that you've got, especially in that first consultation session with your counsellor when you're meeting them for the first time. Ask them, how does this work? How does this work with me? How are you hoping to support me? Any questions that come up, and they'll be happy to answer them. So there's a whole variety of different reasons why someone might want to access release counselling. What brings you to this space? And that's usually a starting question for the counsellors that you'll work with. They'll want to know what's brought you here. There's a whole variety of different things. It might have been some kind of loss, not necessarily bereavement, but in life. Struggling with identity and what it looks like to be in this place, or things that have gone on in life, general anxiety or a sense of depression that's come out of what's going on. So there's a whole variety of different things. We do offer one-off sessions to residents. Our usual pattern is to offer a block of 12 sessions that you can get all in one go. But if you're not quite sure about counselling and you want to give it a try and maybe just dip your toe in the water, then we do offer what we call single session therapy. So that would be with one of our senior team, and that will be just to recce out what's going on for you and maybe map out what the future might look like if you engage in counselling, and then you can decide whether you want to commit later on. So mind, body, spirit, and how release counselling fits into that. Right at the heart of the ethos of the YMCA is taking care of people holistically. We're there taking care of people in a multitude of different ways, whether that's taking care of people's thoughts and what's going on for you in your mind, but also processing things in life that may well be body or potentially spirit, allowing you to then process what's going on for you. It fits into this whole idea of how we work together as our whole bodies and living life to the full, and what that potentially looks like for each individual person. So it's custom built, it fits into our ethos, and it's definitely worth doing.